It's the Cable League. MTGO Show.
Wow, we have 2 value sacrifice cards here, and neither of them are black. The Minsc and Boo and the Gut. I mean, Gut, you sack a thing to make a 4-1 attacker. In Minsc, you sack a thing to draw cards. Does put you into 2 colors. If you take Gut, you could end up black-red. Whereas Minsc forces you to be into Jund. Is a much better card, though. And the sacrificing is more value. Well, this is very on-step hum. I guess Voidwalker is, too, in a different sort of way. If we're sacking for value. That is a value sacrifice right there. Map sack for value. Value critter and gets value off the maps. I feel like that's not what the stip's referring to. Yeah, that's why Minsc was an option power dead. Wouldn't have been an option otherwise. Yeah, Voidwalker fulfills it in like a more literal way, but the Apprentice is really on theme. I wonder if the Apprentice can wheel. I'm going to take the Paragoyf over the Crab. But they both play well with recurring Nightmare loops. I like the Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm going to take the Noble Hierarch. Seasoned Pyromancer is value. But we need something. We need something in the early curve. I'm worried about just, you know, starting the game on turn 3. Can't really do that in Vintage Cube. Yeah, this is interesting, hum. I think I have to take that Proving Ground. Itali is like the most value fucking creature you could resolve, though. Oh well. Hello. I'm gonna take the Gaia's Cradle. Might help us play this Itali out. Bill, you could get some landfall value before you sacrifice it. Actually, Bill getting value off of sacrifice lands, huh? Fetches. Chariot's pretty value. Grimmaster Goy for the Paragoyf. This is a couple of bonds to sack to the white. Hey, there's a good land. Hey, thanks, No Lava. Yeah, so far our sacrifice things are White of the Reliquary, Dothy Voidwalker, and Minsc and Boo. Fungus is not value. Fungus is a 1-for-1. So value would be if you could sack the Fungus and draw 2 cards, right? But instead you got a bunch of options. You got a bunch of utility. Utility is not value. Omnath is value. Oh shit, what up? Hey, Rotten Agenda, thanks for giving a sub to Lamentia. Congrats, Lamentia. I think we need this Bloodstained Mire, especially after passing that Tri-Land last pack. The Animate Dead's very mighty tempting. Sacrifice an Itali, get it back, you know, more triggers. I really wish Halfling could tap for the Voidwalker. Might grab it here anyway. Metamorph's kind of sick. It probably just is the Metamorph, hum. Ooh, a Bayou. We had to take Minsc and Boo over Gut in pack 1. I am 3-3. It was one or the other. Let them have fun, Dreadmang. They're having fun. Preferred way to draft a cube with 2 people that isn't sealed? Yeah, I like Winston drafting fine. Winston drafting, you've got like your whole deck here face down, right? And you make 3 1-card piles. And one person looks at the card, and so they see it's a Paragoyf. The other person doesn't see it because it's still face down. They decide they don't want a Paragoyf, so you just take a card and put it on the top there. And the person that looked at the Paragoyf doesn't know what the top card is. And then they go down the stack, and they decide if they decide they don't want any of the stacks, then they get a random one off the top. Well, the next person looks at the pile, and they're like, oh shit, this Noble Hierarchy is fucking bomb. And so they decided to take that stack, and they would just replace it. Then person one would look at it again. They're like, okay, a Tarmogoyf, I don't want that. Look here, no, I don't want that. So on and so forth. People build their decks that way. Makes sense. Pretty easy to look up and learn and play. And you get interesting decks and stuff. Usually start with more cards than you would. Like normally people do 3 packs of 15 or whatever. Normally I would do like 4 or 5 packs. Make sure people have playable decks. Hello. Well, Citadel is a sack outlet. It's not an especially easy one, but it is a sack outlet. I think I'm supposed to grab this Demonic Tutor. Help things come together. Card's a little sacrificey, huh? Well, Eternal Witness is one of the more value cards of all time, huh? Shigma does sack itself when it comes into play, but this is my mana dork, right? Gotta take that one. Yeah, currently we're lacking the sack outlets. Recurring Nightmare being the ideal. But Goblin Bombardment would work too. Yeah, the stip specifies critters, folks. I don't know if we need to point out every Lotus Petal. Like they matter. No offense, Lotus Petal. Excavator is almost always too slow, yeah. Natural Order is green sacrifice. Currently just have an Overlord to go grab. Yeah, just gonna take the Mox here. Fair enough, Nomus, fair enough. Can't argue with that. Can't argue with the value. That is a valid point. We got a sack creature. We got a sack opponent thing. Suppose. If you clamp something and then sacrifice it, that is absolutely value sacrifice. We have like a bunch of creatures that self-sacrifice, right? The Harvester, the Crater Maker. We can like clamp before we sack to the White of the Reliquary. That's just ideal right there. So the Stomping Ground helps the mana base out a lot. Gives the Bloodstained Myra a dual to grab. Currently doesn't have it. Only has Bayou and Underground Mortuary. Through the Breach, you sack at end of turn. Still pretty cute with Itali and the Overlord. Scrapwork Mud is a value coming back. Deathrite Shaman's pretty good. Pretty good in our mana base here. I'm just going to grab the Shock. Hopefully we get a nice wheel out of that pack. Oh, Grist is nice, huh? Value sacrifice. Kind of perfect. Is that a Badlands? Badlands is the fucking duel we needed. We have a Bayou, we have a Taiga effect. Liliana's sacrifice, but it's not really our critter sacrifice value thing. Tracker's value, but it's not sacking critters. How many more playables do we need? A few. Yeah, I guess I'll take the tracker. I like that Epic here. I weirdly like this Metamorphosis Fanatic. And then, of course, Commercial District would be nice. It's always good to have a Survey land. We already have one, though. We already have one, yeah. Oh, man, if I'd taken the Natural Order the first time around, we'd have the Vaultborn Tyrant now. Do I just want the Vaultborn Tyrant anyway? Shit. Did we see another giant green creature? We saw one in the first pack. Should have had faith. I'm just gonna grab Once Upon a Time. If we had more artifact creatures, I'd like the Extruder. But we don't. I don't think this deck would play Smokestack. Or at least I wouldn't play Smokestack in it. I guess I would with the Stip. That's valid. I like that the white of the reliquary can find that Gaia's Cradle. It makes me feel better about having Vaultborn Tyrant and Atali in there. Didn't get any recursion, besides Corpse Dance. I'd like the 7s a little bit better. We had a way to recur them. Alright, what's our least on Stip card? Probably Citadel. Maybe Lotus Petal. Overlord's value. Tarmogoyf actually gives us value with Pyrogoyf. It doesn't have value inherently, though. We could crack it, could sack it, and get it out of here. We have a bunch of other 2s. The Overlords are both value. I don't know why they'd be off Stip here. So this is like 9-ish green, not counting Gaia's Cradle. Should be plenty. And then red, we want to have like maybe 8, maybe 7's fine. We have 7 currently. And then black, you want 8 if you're having the Voidwalker early there. We got 1. Got 8. Okay. We have 1 more land to work with. I'm going to play 1 more mountain. Actually, let me recount that. Bloom. You think this deck is impressively on Stip? Oh, thank you. Yeah, there aren't, like, Sacrifice as an archetype isn't, like, super well supported in this cube. It's not like there's a bunch of Mayhem Daredevils and stuff. But we have a lot of things that sack critters for value. A lot of ways to get value out of critters sacrificing themselves. And a lot of things that sacrifice. This looks like a mulligan. Is Grist my only removal? No, we're good. You know, other stuff. Hollow Minskin boost removal. I kind of like the Weakened Metamorph Apprentice. I have 2 of that. And Drain Effects are so nice to stack. Rid of an Apprentice here, though. Yeah, there's 2 different keeps there, I think. I think you can put the forest back, because we already have plenty of green. Our curve does go up to 7, though. Makes me shy away from bidding a land out of the opener. But if you feel like you need black mana for the hand to operate anyway, bidding a forest and just assuming that you'll find some, totally reasonable. Totally reasonable approach to the mulligan decision. Shocking. Oh, we're shocking. Could have our own frog. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to beat that. Good old Mind Twist for 3. How I like the Overlords. I mean, the red one's basically Inferno Titan, right? And then I like the black one. On the green one's medium, but totally fine. Can cobble some mana bases together. I don't know if I'd describe the black one as bonkers. There's a downside to it in limited, and that you're only playing with like 40 cards, right? Spawn. I've noticed that some tension with like having like 3 cards left in my library at the end of the game. And it's been like, should I be attacking with this thing? It does play very well with recurring nightmare stuff, though. The white one and the red one are probably my least favorites in the cube, just because they're kind of slow, kind of expensive and slow. Hex Mage with the black one. Yeah, that's cute. Frog's gonna kill me before this Overlord comes down. The red one. Too bad I can't metamorph that Kaido. Hey, there we fucking go, huh? There we fucking go. Right? Yeah, I would like to see the blue one in too, Dragonheart. I'm not sure why it's not in the cube. Maybe there's more competition for blue cards. I think it's a lot more interesting than like the red Overlord, though, for example. White does have a lot of ways of blinking, for sure. It's just 4 mana is a lot, is all. But I do like it better than something like 4 mana Elspeth. For sure. Ooh, I wonder if we can sack the Voidwalker to play Kaido. I could be into that. Yeah, our next turn is like maybe cash in Grist, sacking Insect Token, kill Tide Hollow Sculler, get back Metamorph, copy Overlord, get another Overlord ping, kill Kaido, sack Voidwalker, get Kaido. Just this like huge bloodbath where we steal all their things for value while sacrificing. That was cool. They had that giant ass fucking frog. I managed to win that game. Drew a lot of cards off that. Stipped him real good. Stipped him so good. You love how someone asked if Grist was the only removal, and then Grist came through. Yeah. I like how I said that the Red Overlord was removal, and then ended up like not killing the frog. It was just a mind twist for 3. Kind of a humorous development. Opponent missed their land drop. It's not very groovy. You wonder if they would have won that game if they hadn't pitched their hand to the frog. Well, they binned a Bob and an Edict, right? And then the frog drew them like 4 cards. I think the frog was still very good for them, even though he ended up answering it. You wonder how often it's worth playing a burn spell on a frog if you're also holding a fatal push or something. Almost every time, Dragonheart. 1 mana mind rot's very good, right? I kind of want to metamorph my own Voidwalker, but I'm going to hit the Deep Cavern here. Let's see what's going on over there. Am I? Very tempting to have 2 Voidwalkers. Oh, fair enough. Now, you could leave the Voidwalker to be a effective Force of Will on the opponent's turn. I could see that being a more likely turn of events after turn 2, though. Watergrave, no shock. No frog coming down this turn. Yeah. Yeah, sacking Voidwalker to Force of Will the Edict doesn't really do anything for me, right? Can we draw something good to play? We can. Gonna get a nice little value chain here. Fucking rude. Clamping here isn't crazy. Not clamping is also not crazy. We get to use their Cradle Mana next turn, then we can Metamorphosis back the Voidwalker. And I would like that. Oh no, you can still just play the Fatal Push after they bend their hand though, Somnonoka. There's no downside to playing the Bolt or whatever first. The question is if you're like also holding a Fatal Push or something. Emperor Bones stealing my Voidwalker. That's some shit. That's some shit right there. How good would a Sweeper be here? Or like a Fury? It'd be really nice to like clamp the Eternal Witness and then reanimate it. That'd be such a good fucking sack chain, huh? I think I just gotta play this though. This valueless fucking 4/4. Opponent is Hellbent. I do kind of feel like they need something pretty good here. Interesting. Let's get some life back, huh? Yeah, attempting to start drawing cards. If you clamp the Eternal Witness, though, you're giving them another option for their Emperor Bones, which I don't like. And then also, if you clamp the Llanowar Elves, you're denying yourself 2 more mana next turn. So you might as well just untap the Llanowar Elves and clamp it next turn, right? Little PJL action. What are we doing with PJL here? Sure. So the Voidwalker cannot sacrifice to cast the Force of Will, like they made it here. Because it says choose an exiled card an opponent owns. They control the Voidwalker. I'm their opponent. It would have to be one of my cards. Well, that's got to be something, huh? These dominoes are about to fall like a house of cards. Checkmate. Yarp. Yeah, he's got me the Pyroglyph, and it kills these two creatures. And they've got a Palace Jailer, and we served them with both of these. Then we get the Ent back as well. Just shoop. Just scoop all that value right back. Like a streamer perspective. Almost every Twitch streamer is not also like doing the YouTube uploads. Because streaming takes a lot of time. Weird, right? Oh, man. I'm gonna grab one of these awesome cards. The thing is, I think we're too slow. If you just bin the Ent here for your green source, then you're going to like turn to Ignoble or whatever. I think you're just a little too slow. I think we can witness back the Once Upon a Time. Go find more gas. Go find more value. You're asking from my side or from Gloomshots? Oh, prep and afterwork. So with prep and afterwork, it depends on the type of stream that I'm going to be doing. Constructed streams take a lot more time than limited or cube streams. With limited or cube streams, I'm just like fucking eating some food, getting caffeinated, and hitting the go live button. And the offline work isn't really about individual streams. It's about like networking with sponsors, that sort of thing. Potential sponsors, I should say. You know, boring business email type stuff. But there's a reason I look forward to Cube season, and it's not just because Cube is my favorite format. When it comes to constructed streams, the amount of prep time you put into it can be any number. Aspiring Spike, for example, will be like playing leagues of his decks before he ever like sits down and actually streams them, which I think is fucking ridiculous. And it's one of the reasons that he's the best that we have. Just puts a ton of time and effort that we don't see. But you do see it when he posts on social media, like got a 5-0 with this off stream or whatever. I'm like, how do you have time to play off stream? That's just not human. You can see it in his Mox field. Yeah, exactly. Very different from doing a brewing stream, or if you were going to play if you're going to play a meta deck, right? Just do a bunch of net decks. Even then, even if you're just playing like a bunch, like, so when I learn a new format, I like to play a bunch of meta decks. Figure out get a good handle on what's working before I start tweaking things and thinking about adjusting stuff as the meta shifts. But even that, like sourcing the cards, even if you've got a rental service where all the cards are at your disposal, huge shout out Mana Traders. Or if you have a God account, thank you, thank you, Daybreak, Magic the Gathering Online. Even if you have all of these advantages, it still takes you time to find the lists that you want to use, get everything together, promote the stream and stuff. I think it's like minimum close to an hour. So we could sack that for a land. I think I'd rather just trade here. I think I'm fine with that. But yeah, really depends on the format and the type of streamer you are. Looking at Gaia's Cradle, thinking about Mortuary or Peatland too. Let's grab Cradle here, because we got this Once Upon a Time. Ooh, hello. Could sack this Hierarch and get more thinning and stuff in. Go get that Surveillant I was talking about. I think I like leaving it. Kind of a brutal cryptic command. Boo. We could pass. We could offer a trade with the end. I think that'd be fine. Yeah, go ahead. Opponent's just like, okay. Never been more bummed for a max. Oh, just because like a critter lets us sack that and get in for some stupid amount of damage there. Yeah. Can I resolve a spell, please? I said please! Some rude shit opponent. Yeah, it's looking like we were connection from with like one big chonker away. Because a Grist ult here is worth 9 damage. It's a lot of damage. Feels like I could have gotten something to connect somehow, Rebuying Snapcaster Mage, making me discard a card. Very rude stuff. At least the Gristmill land there. And we do not exactly have instants that we can draw. So if they want to rebuy the Snapcast on Cooligan's Command, they're going to get another card here. Grist drains for the number of creature cards in your graveyard. We have 10. Looks like they're going to Cryptic Bounce the Grist. Get it out of alt range, maybe. Maybe make it vulnerable to a counterspell on the replay. Oh, shit, what up? Hey, Nogwig 2. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for 62 months. They could have edicted the Grist. That's true. Yeah, putting it on the bat might be make it vulnerable. We find our Paraguay for what have you. Overlord's in the bin already. Broadside, interesting. But the broadside is not on defense. Also interesting. Yeah, come on, get in here. I mean, they can stack the Snapcaster, so there's no reason not to block. Hell of a top deck there. Hell yeah. I almost want to play Anger. They're so grindy, right? Or the Citadel. Get the Citadel in here. You were thinking the Dino was the only thing that really saved us? The deck had Dino, Atali, Minsk and Boo, Pyrogoyf. There's a lot of gas in there. Skull Clamp. We already had a few tokens in play. I think Tarmogoyf actually is at its very worst against somebody playing Baleful Strix. Like the literal worst matchup for Tarmogoyf. And a bunch of 1-for-1 removal. We want value cards. Which is, you know, fortunate because that's what our deck is full of. But I don't understand why everyone's suggesting it here. Tarmo with Pyro is great. That is why we drafted Tarmogoyf. Didn't quite make the cut. Doesn't magically make the cut because you're pointing it out now. Oh, cool looking opener. I think we want Badlands here over Bayou. Because the Generous Sense is going to get us a forest. Eh? Tap of their mana is so fucking fast. Ooh, No More Lies is brutal. That would have been a creature and a planeswalker in the bin for Pyrogoyf. Now we just have a stupid instant. I'm kind of glad Pyrogoyf's not legal in Modern, but I assume it'll get added at some point. Hell yeah, Nomus. Yeah, I remember when Tarmogoyf was first printed. It was trading at like $5 a piece, and I just like filled up several pages of my binder, trading at some random tournament. And I was so excited because I'd been playing with it with proxies. I've been testing Legacy, and I was like, "Oh, this card's really good." So it was very validating to see it go up in price. And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm a fucking genius." And when it reached $20, which throughout Magic history, $20 is about as high as anything got. Well, I don't think dual lands were much more than $20 at this point. I think unlimited ones were like 40. Anyway, when it got to $20, I fucking sold out. When I was younger, like Savannah Lions, Birds of Paradise, Wrath of God, those were all just like $20, even though they'd all been reprinted to a billion times. You just like trade one for the other, 1-for-1. And I was like, bam, nailed it. I'm a genius, time to sell out. And then Goyf just kept on going up, and I was like, oh, I'm a fucking moron, apparently. Was that a value sentinel? Unreal. All local back in the day. Yeah, I kind of miss that when different areas had different access to cards. So you could profit by like trading people from a different part of the states or the world. It's a pretty good faction. And you weren't really like scumming anybody. Like everybody was actually, you know, like old school trading. Like well, there goes my dream of having double Pyrogoyf triggers. They better not Snapcast back that Fractured next turn. Because I will be very upset. Cracking Clues triggers the Apprentice. Kind of cute. You remember seeing someone open a Mox Ruby and trade it for 3 birds? Yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. Interesting. I thought they might consider bouncing the Pyrogoyf there. Because it's actually a Metamorph. If they don't have a thing, though, then they're just losing their Jace. Magic prices are still demand-sided. Yeah, but that's... But it's... The internet has homogenized it all, right? And, like, it's all spread out. There aren't a bunch of, like, individual economies with different needs. Man is short of playing that, so I'm going to crack this clue. I don't fucking know which of these I'm supposed to clear. It might actually be the Jace instead of the Oko. Sounds kind of bad shit, but... Was ignoring the walkers not good? I think ignoring the walkers would be kind of terrible. Put them to 5. It's not like my deck's full of a bunch of disruption and removal, right? Like I don't have a lot of reach here. I kind of have to kill my opponent by attacking. So if I'm not clearing walkers with my critters, then I'm just like setting up to lose. Killing the Marionette Apprentice. Interesting. Interesting timing on that edict. Yoko made a food. Which means they have other plans for this Vaultborn Tyrant. Instead of turning into a 3/3 here. What's up, Atali? Atali's like notably terrible into Teferi, right? How's the cubing? Cubing's going well. Yeah, I was trying to set them into a spot where they had to like have the most embarrassing counter possible, because they pretty clearly had a counter, right? Whether it was mana drain or lose focus or what have you. If they let this goblin resolve, then we pop the broadside. We need to clear both walkers, right? So they kind of have to use it, and that's much better than like jamming one of our chonkers into the counter. Jumping to keep the Oko alive. Fair enough. Storm count 5. They have a brain freeze in their sideboard or what? Oh yeah, I lost in the I lost in the top 64 to someone doing something like that. Someone self-milling with Nexus of Fate. It wasn't 100% like it would have been with Hermit, though. It was like every turn they went from like 7 cards to like mill Light from the Loam, and then like every turn it was like they had like a chance to hit the Nexus out of like X cards or what have you. They hit like 3 times in a row. Very close. That was Gwen Decker. We were playing the Creatureless Cube. Apparently you had a lot of experience with that one. Opponent's spitting out a 3/3. Strix, sure. Yeah, bat it up. What do you want? We haven't seen Cryptic Command yet, right? We haven't seen Cryptic Command or Snapcaster. And those cards are kind of a lot. Moto only counts Storm if there's a card that makes it relevant, but it could be in the sideboard too. Like if we had a Tendrils here, it'd be counting Storm. That's what I was saying. There's a chance they've got like a Brain Freeze in their sideboard or something. All right. Hey, the Yoko's dead. Go on the Stomping Ground, potentially discard. Yeah, I like that. Witch Enchanter to blow up my Overlord, sure. It's cute. I don't think I played their exercise, huh? There's no targets. Pretty surprised the Atali resolved. Note that it exiled more cards from my library than theirs, but we are still up by 1. How would I describe MTG to someone who has only played chess? Like they haven't played any card games ever. Nothing like chess. There's some chess skills that are used. Calculating several turns in advance. Ideas like tempo are drawn heavily from chess. This Wheel of Fortune kills them. Alright. Yeah, I think their best bet was to snapcast back the Fractured Identity on the Atali there. What I would have done anyway. This hand's like so tempting, but it shouldn't be, huh? It's noble just not being a Birds of Paradise. Expose. I think we're supposed to bin Metamorph, as weird as that is. How would Wheel of Fortune work if we were both at 6 cards? I think that would be a draw, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point to call it advance. Magic has an element of Fog of War, more hidden information. There is some hidden info in chess, but it's all human-based, right? It's all the amount of, like, prep you put into various openings and stuff. The very best in the world tend to put, like, a lot of time and prep into specific openings and try and guide their opponent into them. And they'll have little cunning traps on, like, move 30. little novelties. Well, that wasn't in my study book. The devil am I supposed to do now? And a lot of times all they do is, you know, burn time for the opponent. I guess we're going to witness ourselves back in Elvish Mystic, huh? Am I open to song requests? You better believe it. Chess is a memory game? Yeah, I mean, depending on what level you're playing at. It didn't used to be. But that's certainly become more and more of it. Even the end games, there's a bunch of like tables you're supposed to memorize. Hey, Nomis, thanks for the $5. Appreciate you. This 31-minute long techno set is almost over. Perfect timing. Nomis says, thanks for the stip. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hell yeah. We got some King Gizzard here. Always a good time. Even the end games, especially the end games. Especially the end games in comparison to the openers. Those seem like equal things to me. Yeah, maybe you're right. Dinosaur landing, hell yeah. Anytime you're sitting there with like some 7-drop against a blue mage with triple island up, 6 cards in hand, you're like, well, this, I guess. Hopefully this white can get some value sacks in here. Hello. Getting a lot of groovy cards here, huh? I think this fucking... What I've got here with this Crater Maker... This is value sacrifice fucking personified, right? Kill your thing, draw 2 cards. Opponent going on a dig through time itself. Two Dan. Are we talking about go now? Which direction do people dig through time? Depends on what they're looking for, right? So this is a spot where Tarmogoyf's not crazy. It doesn't do anything against white removal, but they did show red removal, right? Oh man, we're in the finals? This has been going kind of well, huh? A lot of fair disruption next to grind through. Yeah, I've never heard them before, Bondulv. They just like got started auto playing. Can redraw that next turn, no problem. Ledger Shredder chillin'. One issue with down-ticking here is if they just like kill the ignoble. One cool thing about upticking is it gives me more options for Eternal Witness too. Chandra, sure. I feel like Chandra is uniquely bad here. Like if I just have a creature, I kill both their things. And I do. It's about what my Ledger Shredders look like. Some value sack shit, right? Eternal Witness, get back a creature, sack Eternal Witness to Grist. Feels pretty stip successful. You don't think about Grist as value sack because it's just like everything that the card does. A little self-contained engine. I'm gonna grab the Stomping Ground because I want another red, but I kind of wanted the kind of wanted the Surveil in there. You're asking if Nogwig has anything to do with eggnog? I don't think so. Isn't it like a type of critter? I searched Nogwig and only got Bigwig. One of the rabbits from Watership Down fame. And it's in British slang. And it's a band. Nothing for Nogwig. Must be a original name. Oh, Thari's great here, huh? Get to clear that Grist. And I foolishly burned my Overlord going face last turn. Well, hopefully this Atali finds me an answer. Land, please. Awesome. Wrath of God? Yeah, alright. Let's put this on the Overlord on the stack first. Hey, Spawn of Haster. Thanks for the $5 donation. Appreciate it. Well, we found an answer to the Wrath of God, huh? I gotta say, Atali into Wrath of God feels like a value sacrifice, right? It's what Atali did for us. Oh, they're twisting. It seems really hard for us to get a bad hand after a twister with this deck. Just like talk to the gills with 2-for-1s. Let's play Spawn Song Request here. Oh, some King Crimson. Very cool. Well, if we crack a fetch, that's +1 on Pyroglyph. And Demonic Tutor adds 1, too. Oh, Demonic Tutor is not one. There's already Twister in the graveyard. Well, let's play Grist, and then if they play a counter, we can Eternal Witness back something. It's a reasonable turn. Then we're just going to Eternal Witness back the Demonic Tutor, because we only have 3 mana here. I wonder if I should have... Yeah, I don't know. D-Tutor for Gaia's Cradle here. Just unlock some stuff. I mean, the Overlord's already pumping us, mana-wise. Yeah, Minsk would have killed them if they don't chump, but I was pretty sure they had a subtlety. And if they don't have a subtlety, then we just get so far ahead, right? The black and white Overlords are in. They didn't include the blue one for some reason. One of the more exciting ones for Cube, in my opinion. Everyone loves drawing cards. That's alright, Healthy Greens. We're allowed to disagree. You're allowed to be wrong! Y'all ready for a value sacrifice? GG! Nice little trophy there. Thanks again, No Miss. And again, happy 40th birthday.